Alright guys and gals, welcome to today's project. We're here today with a 1971 Chevelle, the Crown Jewel. What are we doing today? Today we are block sanding. We're having us a block party! Block party! Block party! Here we go. We got all kinds of stuff. We're going to start out with our longest block here. We're going to work this in an X pattern above our body line, get this straightened out. So we're going to start sanding. And this is high build primer over epoxy, over bare steel. So this is going to give us a good indication of our highs and lows across here. Any imperfections that we need to look at and get fixed up, we're going to get that taken care of. Bring you in here and let you see what we're working with. All right, come on. So now you can start to see we got our low spot here, a little low spot there, and we're just going to keep blocking this down. A little high spots, a little bare metal, until we get this completely flat, and then it'll really tell us where we need to add our little filler to get it 100%. So we'll get this sanded down and we'll click you back on. All right, guys and gals, so what we got here is our sticky roll, 220. Now the reason I picked 220 is because we got high build primer on this, and I wanted to get this cut down fairly quickly just to see where I'm at. So I've got pretty much every block that I own out here, and we're going to use them. Now, I like to use a block a lot of times because you're not guessing, okay? It's a straight edge that you're using to get a flat surface. So, with the sticky back here, nice part about them is you can cut them to whatever length you want. You're not wasting your paper. So what I'm after here, I got a round block, okay? It's pretty firm. There's a contour right here. I don't know if you guys and gals can see that, but I'm going to take my block and I'm going to go in an X pattern to get that as flat as I possibly can. Trick for you guys and gals. I keep a little brush handy when I'm dry sanding just to clean the paper off, to make it last a little longer, clean your surface off so you can have an idea of what you're working with. So as I'm going down through here, what I'm looking for, see these darker areas? That's going to be my low spots, okay? That's what we're sanding this for, to find those. Our low spots, any high spots, anything that's an imperfection that we can get a hold of and get it fixed now, we want to go ahead and take care of this. All right, guys and gals, we're going to keep sanding this gal down, get her flat as could be, get ready for the next step. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, got another nifty little block here. Teardrop, make you cry guy. We're going to take this and this contour here, and we're going to use it to get that perfectly flat. Why an X pattern? Well, I'll tell you. If you just come along here and put this in this channel and sand it, what you're going to end up doing is sanding yourself a groove in there. Okay, with the X pattern, you're flattening that area out while still maintaining its shape. And that's really what you want. Because when we're done with this, we want to be able to look down the side of this car and see a perfectly straight reflection of whatever's parked beside it. You can see a car that's got a bunch of waves and dimples in it, it's because they didn't do this stage. As they say, 90% of your paint job is in the preparation. Alright guys and gals, there you can see, we got that in there. And you'll see how nice that fits in that contour there. What that's going to do, that's going to, you know, there's a body line right here and another body line that's here underneath that. You want to be able to make that as sharp as possible. So this block, in different shaped blocks, you know, you could use a round block here as well. I probably will come back in here and do that. But we're going to get this sanded down with 220, and then we're going to move on to our next step. We'll click it back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, here we are with our powdered guide coat. Look at that. Little magic trick. So we're going to use this as another form of seeing our highs and lows. And at this stage, we got it sanded down with 220. Now we're going to move on to 320 and get a good representation of what we're working with here. Now, like everything else, guys and gals, take your time here. Don't try to rush through this, because this is, like I said, this is going to represent your end paint job. So you want your end paint job to be as beautiful as possible. So take your sweet time here and make sure this is all right. All right, so we'll get our 320 loaded up on our blocks. Now, I got a pretty big block here, okay? And I like using these bigger blocks because flat is the key. We'll get this loaded up on here. I'm just going to go through here and do the same thing we did before. And there you go. You can see our guide coat where we haven't sanded yet, and where we sanded our guide coat. Now, as you go down through here, you can see a couple little low spots really show up with that guide coat. And here's another one. Okay, this is all stuff you want to take care of prior to your next coating. All right, as you can see, I got there sanded down there pretty thin. So we're going to carry on with this, then we're going to move on to our next step. We'll click it back on when we're there. All right, guys and gals, there you can see. Now here's an example where guide coat helps us out. Naked eye, you might have picked this up, but this down here, you definitely wouldn't have seen that. So we're going to come in here, another little spot here. See how nice that is to show you your highs and lows? All right, let's send them through. Come down through here, don't look bad. Not bad at all. And look here. A little low spot there. Same thing here. But for aftermarket reproduction quarter panel, I'm not mad at it. Just goes to show you, take your time. And this here, get this to fit the way I want it. I literally pie cut this whole quarter to get it to line up with the top of the door. Same thing with the jamb. That jamb goes all the way inside, Okay. So it's not like I cut the jam out and didn't put it in. It's in there. Yeah, that's right. So we cut this to get our gap the way we wanted. So not bad. Got a little low spot here. We're going to get that addressed. We're going to sand that down. We're going to keep moving on. All right, guys and gals, we got our 2-part filler mixed up here. We're going to get this spread in here. We still have time to work it. And any other spots we see that we want to get taken care of? Remember, you gotta sand this off, so don't go crazy with it. All right, we'll let this set up. We'll get it all sanded down and make her look good. All right, guys and gals, we got some more blocks here. We got some 80 grit on here. Let's get. Alright, guys and gals, there you can see as we go through there and block sand that, we got 2 little low spots here that showed up. Now that we used our guide coat, we know exactly where our next fill needs to be. We'll get that done, get that sanded down, and get this girl closer to our next stage. We'll click you back on when we're there. Alright, here we are with our sail panel. Let's check this out. We use our guide coat, see what we're working with here. Hit that with our 180. See a little spot right here, but other than that, not bad at all. Not bad. So we're going to keep going on this. We're going to get this all sanded down, all smoothed out. We'll click it back on when we're done. All right, guys and gals, got our 80 on our block. Let's get this sanded down. Guys and gals, here we are. We got our glaze on there, we got our guide coat on, we got our 80 here. Let's see where we're at. Switch over here to our other block. Got our 180 on this one. Use our little brush here, clean her up. Guys and gals, we got our 220 now. We're going to get this sanded down in our crease, and then we're going to sand the top, and then everything will be done to 220. Then we'll just have to continue up here. Guys and gals, we're going to take our time here. We're going to get the rest of this sanded down. We're going to go from 80, we're going to go to 180, we're going to go to 220, then we're going to go over the whole thing one final time just to get all the scratch marks out with 320. Then we'll go back over top of this once we get the whole car done with one more coat, actually 2 coats of high build primer, sand this baby down, and get ready to start having some fun. We're going to get our paint gun out and start laying this base on this thing. Alright guys and gals, you know why we do it. For the love of hot rods and horsepower. Go out there and get yourself a project. Start enjoying it. We'll catch you on the next one.